Yeah, I'm definitely like have zero fear in the studio. I'll be telling artists, like, I'll be like, yo, sing it like this. It's like, hey, and they're like, what the are you talking about? I'm like, no, dude, just trust me. In the mix, but it's gonna sound cool.
That's something y'all go through with every f***ing artist that don't want to listen.
Yeah.
I go through it all the time with people. I'm like, listen, I'm trying to make it better. Like, I'm trying to enhance what you just
Dion?
did. Yeah. Shout out to him.
So Dion has been like a day one recorder with me, and like, you know, he said before, like,
that's an nephew, man.
He's like, the reason I like recording with you is you don't just smash the record button. It's like you listen.
You care.
And you know what I'm saying?
You care.
And he's like, you're never afraid to tell me if a line is trash. Like, you're never afraid to tell me if I could do a take better. Like,
but see, this is the thing. He has a lot of trust in you for him to even think like that, for you to even care, for him to even care. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Sometimes I'll be saying it to engineers, and they'll look at me like, who the fuck? It's when I first meet them.
Yeah.
But I
find a balance. I find a balance because, like, at the end, I tell every artist that works with me for the first time, I'm just like, yo, I'm gonna have a lot of notes, and I'm like, but at the end of the day, whatever you want, we're gonna go with, and I'm gonna be okay with it. I'm just gonna give my 2 cents. And that's what it is.
And you have to as an engineer.
Yeah, and there's plenty of times where Dion, you know what I'm saying, will be like, Brad, you're fucking crazy. This is fine. I'm like, cool. Let's move on.
And
Phil goes to that too, but it's never an argument. It's never a conversation.
Exactly.
He's like, word, bro.
Yeah, man.
Bro,
that's one thing you need as a
that's my guy right there, man. This is Manila.
My guy.
You need to not be in your feels, you know, when you're making art, like, especially with other people, like.
And that's the craziest thing too, because like, and that's like the crazy side of love when you enjoy engineering and producing other artists, because it's like you not only tap into like your professional opinion and what you know works and what sounds good, but you also kind of go off of the fact of what you have done yourself, and then you try to put yourself in the artist's shoes. You know what I'm saying? And that always helps, especially because it's like, I've always been a firm believer of, I wouldn't want to put out something for somebody else that I wouldn't want to put out for myself.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's like the biggest, I'd say the biggest caveat on being an engineer, because like you know the difference with artists and being an artist, engineer, producer is like, we're the artist, engineer, and the producer.
Yeah.
You're just the artist.
Yeah.
And may I add, you're going to learn that one of his favorite words is caveat.
Yeah, it is one of my favorite words of all time.
All the time. And we learn something new on this podcast every time, you know, with that word. I have to let everyone know, because they be like, what the fuck, man?
He said easy.
Like, Phil knew what he talking about. I don't know what he just said, but he know what he talking about. So, caveat's like the issue, right? Like
a caveat is like a point of emphasis, or like a
discrepancy, like, right, like kind of like an issue.
Caveat is like an alternate thing. Like, oh, that's the.
Yeah. See, I'm still trying to understand.
Caveat.
Yeah. And even explain to me I know what it means, but I'm still trying to understand, because I know what it means, but I don't.
It's an altering factor.
I don't use it.
It's a factor.
Okay, got you.
It's a factor. Yeah. That's if I could, like, one word caveat.
You said that last time.
Wow, yeah.
It's almost like to play devil's advocate. Yeah. Like, put in a word. You know, like.
I love it.
Yeah, I mean, I know what it means now. But I know for the fans.
I just think it sounds fucking awesome.
They're on the DMX.
There's a Rough Riders roll. I love it.
This thing started, baby?
Yo, you guys ready to get into this thing?
Yes, sir.
Here we go.
Yes, indeedy. Roaches.
What's happening? It's your boy, Dirty Phil.
And your boy, Big Skies.
Yes. And we coming to you live right here in the exquisite destination, the places of places, the Panama Pound Cake, the Brooklyn Beatdown.
Yes, sir.
The Canada candidate.
Yes.
Creator.
Delightful Dungeon, baby.
The Denver Delta.
Oh, here we
The
go.
Alabama Alpha.
There we go.
The Florida Fine Print.
The ecological ecosystem.
The botanical basement.
You are now in tune, baby, into the Roaches podcast.
Let's
baby.
go.
Let's go.
Going
Yes.
crazy right here, right now. And not only do we have a special guest in the building, but we have what I would like to say, and I process this. I'm a little impromptu, but I had to think about how to describe this gentleman we have here. Not only a fantastic music producer, recording artist, a writer,
Yes.
videographer, a social media enthusiast,
Yeah.
a content creator, one of the
Influencer.
fucking goats that I would say has ever graced the Roaches podcast or the music industry in its entirety.
Yeah.
Motherfucking Bradley Atom in the building. Bradley Atom in the motherfucking building.
Yeah.
A.K.A. Gengarcade. And if you know, you know. And if you've been living under a rock, get up under that. Get some sunlight.
Get out from under
Your
the
skin's showing. You got some melanin going on.
Got something going on. You got
We're going in here. How you feeling, brother?
And I'm feeling great. We had a few drinks before the podcast started, and I'm there right now. We're feeling. I'm in the perfect state of mind for this, and I appreciate you guys for inviting me down so much. I needed out the house, and to do this is like amazing. So
Yo, this is way overdue.
Yes.
And I say that to say is because, you know, what we do with the Roaches podcast is we love to give flowers, a.k.a. a whole roach pack.
Yes.
As we would like to. Well, I kind of.
Yeah, I like that. I go with it.
I kind of sprinkled that little seasoning on that shit, but it is the whole roach pack, the flowers that we given, and it's to acknowledge and bring to light the amazing talent that either hasn't been fully recognized from the potential of what's going on,
The accolades,
but the accolades, and also just like a sheer genius of content creation. And I can't wait to get into this and pick this man's brain because it's almost like I'm looking at a 6'7" twin of my own, and it's fucking incredible.
Absolutely.
So before we get into it and we get it moving, as usual, your boy got us poured up some of that Paul Masson. Mom, I'm not home.
Yes, sir.
I'm taking shots and drinking beers.
Yes, sir.
I'm going crazy right now. It's the Roaches podcast. We got that peach Paul Masson right here.
And we about to christen this.
All right, look, right before we do this, I'm going to give you all an exclusive real quick. I did on my first album, I had a line that for some reason a lot of people talked about how I drink my liquor and how I like to drink my liquor. Listen, I take a chaser first and then a shot and then I chase it. So that's how I want to do it.
But I'm going to tell you something.
I love
Before you even do that, you and him have something in common. You both take the shot and you chase it with beers. That right there deserves a burn. Because
I swear to God, it's from the basement party era. If you know, you know. You know what I'm saying? If you were a degenerate piece of shit in basement parties and the college towns and shit, like
I was always taught don't mix, but I'm black though, so we don't do that
here
shit.
though.
I mean, we don't mix.
Now, I'll
right?
teach you the
Salute.
Salute.
Roaches, baby.
Ooh, shot.
Everybody. This is crazy.
All right. It is a crazy time,
man.
It is a crazy time. I gotta ask you a question though.
Let's go.
Do you prefer Bradley Atom, Bradley Gillespie, or Brad Gillespie? What do you prefer, and what is the difference of the Atom and the Gillespie?
So please pick up your number 2 pencil.
Yes.
And fill in your answer with either A or all the above.
He's a genius because I think he knows what I mean.
If I had to pick one,
Yeah.
it wouldn't be any of them. I would prefer to be called Gen, which is my artist name for music. Just Gen.
How you spell it?
I like that.
How you spell it?
G-E-N.
Okay.
Gen.
It's just like the start of Gengar, you know,
Gotcha.
Gengarcade and everything. But Bradley Gillespie is, you know, my government, and then but my middle name is Adam, A.D.A.M., and I always thought that Bradley Atom just rolled off the tongue real cool. So it's honestly just like when I was shooting music videos and I wanted, my name to appear in text. I just wanted it to look cool, and I thought Bradley Atom just looked cool, so I chose Bradley Atom. That's really all it is. But like Bradley Gillespie is me, Bradley Atom is the director, and then Gen is the producer, the music side of things, or at least that's how I look at it.
Okay,
so,
that's crazy though, because and I can say your and even my line of work, like what we do is you got to wear a bunch of different proverbial baseball caps.
Yeah.
Yeah, but a lot of hats. I would say
you got a lot of responsibilities and things that you do in your journey and your process. So separating those, and what I like what you said about that is in fact and true, because when you're doing one thing or another, you kind of got to separate those stems, if you will.
You're definitely a different person.
You're definitely a different person.
Yeah.
When you're behind the lens, you move different. You think different.
Exactly.
You're on a different perspective. When you're behind the boards or behind a microphone, same thing. Totally different perspective. Totally different ideals and creative process. And then, as a human being, you're not gonna move. You're not gonna move as everybody kind of wrapped in. You do, but you don't.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. There's a little bit of like reserve, a little bit of holdback. But that's how we're fucking insane. Yeah. We're like fucking split. You know what I'm saying?
Every artist, man, and it's only getting worse as we move into like this digital era, because we all had things where it's like, back in the 90s, you just had to rap. And then it's like, oh, now you gotta make the beat too, or you gotta figure out the beat, and you gotta be this. And then once to move to other socials, like, you gotta create your own social content now. You gotta advertise yourself, and if you don't, no one's gonna hear your music ever. And it's like, where do you draw the line? Because you could pay someone, but it's becoming like artists just have to do that themselves now. They have to create these content ideas, make the song, record the song, put it out, continue making all this content and stuff. So it's getting to a really weird spot.
I mean, it's getting to a spot to where it's like, okay, I look at it like this, like what you just said. It's just, they're afraid to put the work in. And even if you're not afraid to put the work in, it's a different era. Like, two eras can't be matched. It's like Michael Jordan and LeBron. You can't match that era of hard work that was back when you didn't have the internet. And you had to literally sell, your CD for $5.
And
for $5, you had to do that. You had to get out there and then
you had to
open
get there,
the trunk
guerrilla
up,
market
go to Walmart,
shit.
go sit out at the club after the club, in the club, selling, like literally handing out CDs. And then that weekend, you like, oh man, I handed out 1,000 CDs. Like a lot of people, I don't think the generation understands that. And they're like, man, fuck all that shit. We don't want to hear that shit. Like, that's y'all problem. That was it.
But I mean, that's what you were doing there, just handing out CDs, is this generation's era of putting out content.
But I feel like this. I feel like they know, because we all got common sense, right? I feel like they know it's people get lazy. If you put out an album, right? You threw it on SoundCloud. You got everything to put it out on, right? Or whatever your major, you can put it out, but and say you don't get the response you want, then it's like people feelings get hurt, and you give up easily. You give up easily. It's like, man, I put all that work, and then you don't capitalize.
And this is
that's my whole thing. It was different back in the day.
It is different back then. And I'd actually love to jump off of what you were talking about with that, because with this era of the accessibility of everything that's so digital and right in front of your face, and there's so many tools you can utilize, like back when come up, and I could even say, like, before the 2010s, now I would say like right at the 2010s, like we were still at the pivotal market of guerrilla warfare as being a recording artist, and you had to hit the streets, you had to show up, you had to go do the shows. We didn't just go live, we didn't just go do that shit, like and nowadays, jumping forward a little bit, when people put shit out and they're like, oh man, this is like, my best work I've ever done, and no, and then you don't get the response that you don't get, and then they get fucking butthurt. That's the bitch assness of this generation. They don't understand the fucking hard work, believing in your product, and capitalizing on getting out there and putting that shit out and showcasing. Roaches exclusive.
And Phil nailed it. He just nailed it. And the thing is, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to make it if you do everything right.
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer in the stars need to be aligned. And that even means for the industry plants, industry plants. If you say the people that got lucky or the people that got looked after, the stars were aligned. It's not your fault. You have an uncle in the industry. It's not your fault.
Yeah.
Yay, bang, you got you in. So who gives a fuck?
I mean, and then that's the thing though too, like the come ups like that we see though, like, and then you said it best, like industry plant, and I want your opinion on this too, because a lot of the perception, especially with the new generation, the new age, these young folk that are coming up in this industry, that's mine.
Oh, my bad. Now I was turning around, you know.
How dare you? What I was saying is like. They don't understand that like the game that we're in is all planned out. It's planted, and I could say industry plant.
Yeah.
It's because a lot of these people that you see got success, that go crazy, that have all these accolades and the success that seemingly seems overnight, which it is all calculated and happening because this person or persons, if you will, don't have a sense of fucking integrity or even belief in themselves. They're like, okay, you're just going to throw me a bunch of money. You want me to do this and that and a third.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to probably do the...
Yeah.
We're going to ding, ding, ding here.
Yeah.
Hello, service is here.
Yeah.
Room service.
Yeah.
No Diddy.
Yeah, no Diddy. Yeah. Yes, man.
But a lot of people don't realize, like, it happened back in the day, way back when, but it's not as common as it was now. Like, everybody now is, like, flexing off of their willingness to conceive, like, just to give in and not fight for, you know, moral values, your belief as an artist. And I think that's the biggest caveat of it.
Yeah.
This motherfuckers are just throwing money. You're just showing a bunch of money, and they're like, I'll do whatever the fuck you want me to do.
Yeah.
And that's it. But, like, man, I can tell you so many times, I don't mean to go on, but I can tell you so many times that I've been at the doorstep of the industry and literally ready to walk through that door, and there's always been, like, some kind of, like, divine intervention that just held me back.
But, you know, I feel what you're saying, but and I feel that. I do. But I'm also the type of man where I'm ready to jump off the, you know, if we're on a cliff and there's sharks in the water and we got to get to the other side, that's the only way we can survive. I'm with it. It's not no other way.
Yeah.
I'm with it. So my thing is, that for me is like, I always say this, right? If you sign a certain deal, it's nothing wrong with signing. People always say, I'm not going to sign to a label. I'm not going to sign. Why? You read the contract first. Get a lawyer, man. Don't sign nothing yet. You got to sign that deal first before anything comes into fruition. So when you agree, even though you might be young, that's why you have a lawyer there. But sometimes the lawyers are fucking corrupt. You know what I mean? So you have to be like this. You have to understand common sense. You're going to get got. My thing is, every contract, you're getting got. I don't give a damn. Even the Cash Money deal, they got. I don't care. Because you know why? It wasn't 100%. It was 80-20, which is still fucking great. That's great. I ain't going to sit there. That's some masterpiece shit, right?
Yeah.
But it wasn't 100%. You feel me?
Yeah, I got a lot of things to say about this, too. There's just so much stuff that goes in it, and I think industry plants exist not in the way that most people think they exist, but, you know, I'm going to say off top, I think hard work and dedication can go a long way, especially now that the internet exists. There's no barriers to entry. Like, it's all on you now. Like, as long as you have a phone and, you know, an internet connection that you can get free Wi-Fi at Starbucks, you can become something and make something, you know, great and push your content and actually do it without anyone else's help. I truly believe that. But also, a lot of people talk about industry plants as in a label signing an artist and then just shoving millions of dollars into them to get the plays, which does happen. But, like, there's also, like, another vein of industry plant where it's just like, let's talk about, like, Jack Harlow's situation, for instance. And I don't mean to throw Jack under the bus, but Also, it's just like having the ability to have wealthy parents to give you the free time and the resources and the recording material to do that is something in itself. A lot of people, we have to work jobs and we have to, you know what I'm saying, 8 hours a day, come home, and then we're expected to make art and literally still put it out and do that thing. And that's difficult.
Oh, yeah.
Just not having a job and having someone to just
financially
give you free
back
time.
you.
I mean, everyone is listening to this right now. If someone just came up to you and was like, hey, I want to try an experiment. I'm very rich. I'm going to pay all your bills for 6 months.
Oh,
give me something really cool at the end of 6 months. Whatever your art is, whatever you want to do, make something really cool with that 6 months. 6 months of free time, a lot of people could make some really cool stuff.
But they won't.
Yeah. Like
it would
exactly.
not. If you gave 100 people 6 months time, 2 will make it. Maybe 2.
I would say a little bit more than 2.
I don't even want to say 2.
It just depends on the drive and determination.
Yeah, exactly. These people have to have drive. Like they have to have something in vision that they want to make.
But think about it. How many people is it like that? There's not a lot, man.
Yeah.
You even with the rap industry,
which is what I'm saying. So I think an industry plant should also be that, like someone who just has the comfortability of life to like actually pursue, you know, that stuff, time, money, like you know, that stuff. Where
okay, so I'll say this because I agree a lot. I agree. I'm not saying I don't disagree, but I'm just saying from my perspective of things like with our situation, it kind of is like you're right. You know, I look at who I'm related to and I say, you know, it wasn't given though. But to your point of if you have someone there to back you, you have someone there to make sure that you don't have to worry about certain things.
Yeah, for sure.
You just get the job done.
It's a luxury.
Then it is a luxury, but because it is, you're right. It's not saying it's burr. It's a luxury, but it's about you can give someone luxury, but it's what they do with the luxury.
For sure, absolutely.
I get it all the time, bro. You're the reason. Your son, man. You Big Scott. You're the. Everyone know the backstory, right?
Yeah.
But you know what my rebuttal is to that? You know, I learned to take some credibility. Like, okay, all right, man. You
gotta take pedals. You don't have to take the flowers.
I take a little pedal or two. All right, y'all hype me up too much. But I look at it and I always say, if my boy didn't receive it, the gift, if he didn't receive that gift, this wouldn't have happened. So give him the credit.
Yeah.
So I 100%. Look at it like. And that's why it's an agree to disagree in my situation, which is, and I'll say his situation, not mine, his situation, which is the rarity out of it all.
Well, so and there's a lot of factors that go into that. There we go.
Yes.
But like back to what you were saying, and I do want to go off of that because I could tell you 100% wholeheartedly, if my mom came to me. And my stepdad was like, listen, we're going to financially back you. You have no bills for the next 6 months. We want you to do what you love, produce and make and create as much as you want to. There's no, loose ends attached to that. Bro, off of what you're saying, I can tell you, I would work so fucking hard.
Right.
And not having like a bedtime for the status quo, so to speak, putting all that energy, you know what I'm saying? Like off of what you were saying as well. Like I'm taking it all in. You're right. I wake up at 5:30 every morning to get at my job by 7:30, put in a 10-day hour worth of work or 9.5, and then I drive a half hour home to get home and handle home responsibilities and everything you got to take care of. And then
any of the little remaining day you have,
the little bit of that remaining time and that low suppressed energy, like our battery level, finding a way to hone in and get focused and recalibrated to fucking put 110% into creating something incredible, be it beats, a new song, editing a podcast.
And which, by the way, this is one of the things I hate the most. I see a lot of people just be like, oh, well, you know, I could just stream. I'll stream for 10 hours a day and, you know, just make hundreds of $1,000s like a lot of popular streamers now.
Yeah.
But, dude, there's a streamer named Jinxie. He's pretty famous. I don't know if you guys know him, but, like, before he got famous, they went back through and, like, looked at his logs of when he streamed. He streamed every single day for, like, 14 hours a day for a year. Before shit ever, and then people think it's really that easy. Oh, I could stream and make money. Why am I working a job? No, you can't. You're not going to do that.
Yeah, that's
not going to do that. Yeah, exactly. Kai Cenat is, by the way, goated. Like, Kai Cenat is dope. He's super crazy.
After he had Kevin Hart, shout out to him, yo. Shout out to him, yo. Shout out to him because I gotta just, you said his name. Yeah. He just had Kevin Hart on his stream. Yeah, you can't get no big, like, all you gotta do is have Jay-Z walking the door now, bro. And it's like, shout out to you, young man. All right, shout out to you because to have Kevin Hart on your stream dancing like you the whole time, rapping like you.
I love how everyone gets
freestyle.
Yeah. I love how everyone gets the idea because if you were to pitch like Kai's stream to a famous artist or someone like 21 Savage or, you know, Kevin Hart, they're not going to get it. But everyone seems to get Kevin Hart or Kai's stream where everyone just comes through and have fun and goof off, and we're going to do a few little weird events and just make it super entertaining.
I think he come now. Have you seen Kevin Hart? I think the door open.
I think that's the appeal, though.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, at the end of the day, it is really like just like a feel good time. And a lot of people, let's just be honest with it. The world that we live in today, this day and age, is very fucking depressing. And a lot of people who deal with, you know, self-consciousness, anxiety, depression, not fitting in the world or finding themselves in certain kind of ways or aspects, I truly feel like it really tunes into, like, I can jump on this stream and I can interact and, you know, I could get acknowledged at the end of the day and feel a part of something. And a lot of people just want to feel a part of something. And that's one of the hardest things to do, especially if you're not like a person. And I could say for like us, like, I know we all deal with our own demons. We all got our own selves. We deal with depression. We deal with anxiety. We deal with real life fucking factors. Like, you know, not coming from like a nice like come up and shit like that. So there are real life caveats that get thrown to us where we're like, what the fuck, like what's my purpose? What's my journey? Where do I come through? What do I have to contribute to this? Some people just want to fucking hang out and be acknowledged. Don't mind sitting in the background, but be a part of something that's fun, that's entertaining, and makes you feel good.
Yeah, and that's what I tell a lot of. That's one of my best pieces of advice. And we'll move on from this. This is my best piece of advice to a lot of people: is just don't do it unless you love it. See, and if you love it, then you're gonna live it, and that's it's the closest thing you can do. I mean, yeah, we got industry plans, but at the same time, it's the closest thing you can do, man, to even having a chance. If you don't love it, then. But it can become a hobby. It can be whatever.
Yeah, but wrapping up the industry plant thing idea, and I firmly believe that there are just like people who come into these positions and they're throwing a bunch of money and they're told to do this and that and they just do it without even acknowledging the back end that comes along with that. And you want to talk about like being an influencer, a content creator. I think the industry plan is putting out a bad message, but it's come from the elitists, their agenda. And I think that's why cancel culture is so all-time high. I think that's why people are so sensitive. And it's because they put certain people in this like, man, you don't have a fucking opinion. I'm going to tell you what your opinion is. Here's your opinion, and you go fucking spread it to the masses, and we're going to put a big fucking bag in front of your face, and you go fucking do it. And they're like, okay.
And you know what? I just believe that that's true. I believe anything is true. I mean, we don't know. I know some shit.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
I know it's true.
I know.
We know it's true.
I'll tell you like this,
Bro, we've all been in this industry for long enough. We know some shit, bro.
I'll tell you like this. Industry friends, ladies and gentlemen, are real.
Yeah.
But let's move the fuck on. I got to know, Brad. So just so everybody knows, Brad, the reason why we're talking like this and we're talking so highly, and he's giving such a great response to what we're talking about is because he's well versed in the industry, and we want you to talk about it a little bit, Brad. Introduce to us what you actually do. Where were you born? We're in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, Chambersburg, man.
We're in Maryland right now, but we're around the DMV. But where were you born at?
Chambersburg, Pennsylvania, which is it's 15 minutes away from y'all and everything. And everything. And So born in Chambersburg, and people aren't gonna know what Chambersburg is. Chambersburg, Pennsylvania. It's in South Central Pennsylvania.
Right.
But it's such a cool little area, like Shippensburg, or let's start at Harrisburg. Harrisburg, Shippensburg,
which is the capital of Pennsylvania.
Hagerstown and Frederick is like this cool little mesh, I always call it, of things, because we're 2 hours right and left of Philly and Pittsburgh and DC.
That's crazy.
And I say this all the time, and I guess I'm a little biased because I'm from the area, but I really have always genuinely felt that our little pocket of area has bred some insane artists.
Incredibly insane. Incredibly, I agree.
Yeah, because here's the thing. It's like we got a taste of all walks of life. We go to the city. We go to Philly and Pittsburgh and DC and all this other stuff. But also we have these areas that are more like nature oriented, where we went on hikes. We went in lakes. We went into
we got the fucking Appalachian Trail.
Which fucking goes through everything.
Yeah, we're not rich. We're not like a super high capita like richness or whatever. And it's just all these, and it's a blend of people too. And it ain't really like a ton of one race one way or another based in a city. It's really like a nice blend of things and everything.
Absolutely.
And yeah, man, I always thought that our area was just really interesting. And when you put people in interesting scenarios, you get interesting artists.
So is that
and results?
Yeah, exactly.
So is that what led you to doing what exactly that you do? What exactly is it that you do?
When people ask me this question, I just say I'm a multimedia artist.
Gotcha.
And here's the thing. I made a rule for myself when I was very young, maybe 14, 15, where I promised myself that I would never, ever be bored. Ever.
Right.
And it's like I will not allow myself to be bored.
I don't understand the word.
Yeah. So anytime where I was just laying in my bed, I'm just like,
I really don't.
I don't know what to do. I'm just like, well, you gotta do something. Go figure it out. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I started dabbling with a lot of things. I started out in video. I was really interested in filmmaking and shooting video, but I started shooting music videos, and being surrounded by artists, I started to get jealous of these artists that they were making music. I was like, I want to make music. I want to do that. Yeah. I want to do what they're doing. Got my computer, started making beats, started messing around, making all kinds of types of music or whatever, and and then I would watch visual effects artists, and I'm like, I want to know how to blow up my neighbor's car. And then I became a visual effects artist, and started doing that.
One of the best.
Yeah, and
what is not to interrupt, just before what is your because you do all this, we know you're a cinematographer, you do music or whatever. And where can we find you on the YouTube and Instagram?
My YouTube is Bradley Atom, and BradleyAtom.
That's
and then Gengarcade on everything else. So Gengar like the Pokemon, and Arcade GenGarcade. So on all socials.
So basically, we know what you do. We're just trying to introduce to everybody else. You basically, like you say, you shoot videos. You do how in depth are you now? Like, are you still shooting videos, or are you?
Yeah, I do a little bit. I'm more social media focused now. So I shoot videos for multiple businesses for their social media specifically. And I'm kind of reined into that, and that's how I get paid now.
Gotcha.
I'll do most of that, but I still shoot music videos from time to time. I just shot a music video a few days ago.
Okay.
And but so that's my job. The video stuff is my job so I can survive.
Yes.
And then I make a lot of music on the side too. But but I also like record for other artists as well. So it's kind of like a side hustle, and making beats for other artists.
What's it called? The mini hats you were saying earlier.
Yeah,
the mini hats.
Wearing a lot of hats.
And the reason why I bring this up is because back in our day, when we were all going, I mean, super, double, triple time, overtime, like hard. Like he was a guy that was doing a lot of. You were filming a lot of the hip hop videos locally,
which I want to plug in real quick.
Yes, absolutely.
Stereo Breed Media.
Stereo Breed.
Listen, man. It's hard for me. Like it's difficult for me to accept.
That's a good one, bro.
It's difficult for me to accept praise, right? Yeah. But I also think Stereo Breed was an era.
It was
around our area. You know what I'm saying? It was a cool little like pocket. It was like 3-4 years where I literally feel like me and J Law came in like a really good time.
You guys were literally the epitome.
It was you two.
Who's going to shoot my video?
Yeah.
It's one room and it was Stereo Breed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
it wasn't like it was a competition, but it was just like a
you just knew. And I'll throw Top Flight in there. I don't want to disrespect our guy Top Flight.
Shout out to Top Flight.
Which
we'll be having next week.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I also want to make sure that it is well known because this is 100% certified, plugged by your boy. Yeah. Because from me and my perspective, being the outside looker in, there literally was 2 media companies, and it was Stereo Breed, and it was one room, and that's just what it is.
And with yours, oh my bad.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
Oh my bad. With yours came, I just want to say, with Stereo Breed, was it Mac Miller that came?
Yeah.
There was a lot of.
Chew Jackson.
So I can get into a little bit of that story later once
Okay. Well, you can get into it now, man.
I mean, dude, I started. So Chew was the first person I ever shot a music video for ever, and for his group Fresh Money. And I had no intentions of shooting music videos at this point. I was trying to make stupid, dumb, short comedy films with my friends or whatever. And just a happen chance run in with one of my friends from high school who was in his group. He was like, "Yo, you should shoot a music video for us." I shot the music video, and when it released, I just did it for fun. But it got like 30,000 views, you know what I'm saying, in the week, which for our area back in 2000.
That's fucking retarded.
That's like a dumb amount.
That's a dumb amount.
Because they already built their brand up. You know, they were already popping. I didn't know that. I thought I was shooting for friends here. But I shot that video, and then, throughout the week, I had 7 messages from people asking how much I charged. I was like, so I asked Chew, I was like, how much did these other guys charge for you? And then I half that because I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
Yeah.
And I was like, this much? Like, and I think it was like $800 or something like that. And every single of the 7 people were like, let's do it. I quit my job the next day.
Dang.
My mom, I was still living with my mom. I was like 18. My mom was so pissed. Yeah. She was so mad. I'm just like, Mom, I made more in one day than I made, you know what I'm saying, the last few months working. Like, this is it. This is what I want to do. And that's really when I fell into the community too, you know what I'm saying, in the culture, and started learning, all the ins and outs, and just like, dude, working with the artists, man. All my day one artists, every single one of them are the OG homies. Like, I love them like brothers, dude. Because we all became really, really good friends. Yeah. And made me really love the shit, You
shot movies, bro. Like I would look at, and I would say it was some nice.
Bro, the quality was
great. It was ahead of its time.
Next level, man.
Yeah, it was ahead of its time.
And
for us being what we call local.
Oh yeah. And that's the wildest thing too, because even Law and I, way back when, always said like there's just a certain aspect of being like ahead of the time, and it's a gift and a curse, if you will, just because of, you know what I'm saying. It's some of the shit that people weren't seeing. It wasn't something that was like known, and you watch it, you're like, how the fuck did you pull that off?
Yeah.
But accolades, Roach Pack, I'm telling you, man, like, when you say an era of those few years, that was absolutely 100% fucking warranted. Yeah. And absolutely fucking true. Absolutely true, man. Yeah. And I know,
I gotta give you credit on that too.
Me, like, and I know you're. you know, we grow, we evolve as artists, creators, entertainers, and we go through things. But like these life lessons that we're thrown with everything, it's so fucking incredible on like not knowing fucking shit about shit or anything involved about said shit, and how we evolve into becoming the fucking monsters that we do, which transitions over me to the next thing. Your fucking content, bro. Like your shorts and your reels that you do, I truly feel are incredible works of art.
I appreciate that, man.
Not only, I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
We do, man.
I appreciate it.
I gotta tell you.
And it just to see you being, and this is coming from the artistic side of things, but like not only how you present these things, they're very cinematic. Like you click a reel and you get a Bradley Atom reel.
Yeah,
and he's sitting there and you just see the.
And by the way, while he's doing that, he makes it look so easy.
And then he's just like, Shawty made my heart break. And
you like,
I'm like, oh, what the fuck, bro?
Like, damn.
Like, what the fuck, bro?
Yeah, you like, damn.
It sounds exactly like that too. There's no difference.
But you make it look so easy though. You make it feel right.
I just want to say real quick, a lot of people say that. Like that's one of the comments I get, like especially from other artists. They're like, "Yo, you make it look so easy." I want to just.
It's the hardest.
I'm going to pull back the curtain real quick.
I know.
It's so hard.
Yeah,
it
but
is
you're
so difficult.
You know what the problem is? The problem is we know that.
Yeah.
Everyone knows, but what it is, your consistency on dropping them.
Yeah.
Bro.
So you're dropping them like consistently.
I could probably speak for themselves as 45 seconds is about 6 hours.
Oh, I bet.
For sure.
I bet.
Maybe more.
I bet. But what I'm saying is, it because of his consistency. That's why they're saying you make it look easy.
Yeah.
Because you've dropped a lot of them. You know what I mean? And it's like it's nothing. Brad does this. It's what he does, man. He get that shit done in an hour, dog. Yeah. I'll refer you to him. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, you make it. I just gotta give you credit on it, man. And people gotta find you and find your work. Working on YouTube, that's especially where you're at. What is the YouTube again?
Bradley Atom.
Bradley
Bradley Atom.
Okay, got you. And you guys can catch his work on there. Phil's in there using the slap sing, which I'm gonna have to use here in a little bit. But what I want to touch on is, and Phil touched on it, basically your work, your albums, your music too, as well.
Yeah.
So you dropped the album, I think a year and a half ago or a year ago, called Nostalgic.
Yes, sir.
All right, and that album, I gotta say, man, I listened to the album, right?
Yep. Which once again, appreciate it.
Which is great. Well, I don't want to say I listened to the whole thing, but I caught a few songs, and one of them that I loved was I Love the North joint.
Yeah.
Like that one was, you had ones on that were better, but not better, but more appealing. But this one stuck out to me because of the bop. The bop got me, right? Yeah. And then so when you dropped that one, I think you said I'm not saying, I don't know if this is the song because I heard a couple of them, but it says you're selling my time for the low. I put my heart in it.
Yeah.
What song was this? Was that North?
I'm pretty sure that's North. Yeah.
That was North, right?
Yeah.
It was like, okay, and was that the one where you said I'm depressed with a God complex?
Yeah.
That's the one, right?
You know, that's a line where I just didn't think it was going to resonate with people.
Right.
But everyone, like, if you watch the live stream of the album drop, like, this is my first time seeing everyone react as a whole. And every single person in the room knew that line.
You were in
was
the
crazy
big fucking room with a bunch of people, right?
Yeah.
Running through it?
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm depressed with a God complex. Yeah. I thought that line was kind of just like a Passover line.
Yeah,
which, by the way, lyrics are insanely important to me. I know lyrics are, go by the wayside for a little bit. But I am very particular, about my lyrics and everything. So.
No, and that's one thing that I actually...
dude, just like you, the fact that you even listened to the song and pulled lines, means so much more to me. You know what I'm saying? Just because it means that you listened. You know what I'm saying? Not just played it.
Yeah.
You listen to it. Like, those are the people I'm making music for. Like,
I think you kind of force that on people, which is a great thing.
Yeah.
I think that's needed more nowadays. When you hear something good and you're like, man, that's really good. You ain't saying it's good for no reason. You're definitely not saying it's good for no reason, right? I'm listening because it caught my ear.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say it. Phil knows me. I'm not just gonna sit up here, and he's the same way. We're not just gonna sit up here and make no, you know what I mean? No, but that was one of the songs that I loved. You know what I mean? It's called Nostalgic. Where can you find that album?
Anywhere. Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon.
Nostalgic, right?
Yeah, which, by the way, playing back into what we were talking about, I wrote that album about the very specific little pocket of area we grew up. It's literally about the north, like northeast coast.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and nostalgia. Like where I grew up. So I wrote that whole album.
Becoming of age.
About the stereo breed era where we were just like, that's what the album is wrote about.
That's why maybe I liked it so much. Because it resonated with me in some way.
Yeah. I love those hidden nuances, and that's what the amazing part of being like a creator. And, you know, to the average listener or to the uneducated average Joe, what we do as artists is we do try to sprinkle in a little bit of those, like, hidden Easter eggs. Yeah. And I do it as well with music. And one thing I do want to touch on real quick after I get off this, but it is incredible, like, because then once you become a person of interest, I would say, or more recognizable, and then people start delving into the whole concept and idea of like who you are as a person or an entity or a being, what your soul reflects and the things that you speak upon. And then when people really start, and I'm one of those people, because when I go down the rabbit hole, I'm jumping down that motherfucker. Let's go.
Yeah. Right.
But one thing that I really wanted to give you appreciation on is you can be good at a lot of things. You know, think about myself. You can be pretty good at a lot of things.
Right.
Bro, you're fucking great at like everything.
That is
like doing. You know, and a lot of people say stay in your lane.
Yeah.
You know, you got to put in that 10,000 hours to become great at one thing. But dude, man, like it's just.
Well, I appreciate you saying that because, you know, I think I'm more hard on myself as with most artists than, you know, anyone else.
We're our own hardest critics.
And I think sometimes I really regret being a jack of all trades because I always think about what would happen if I couldn't shoot video, if I couldn't do this, and I just went so hard on this, you know.
Right.
But so I appreciate you saying this.
Yeah, no, but
feel better.
no, absolutely, dude, and it's from the fucking guts of my heart because I like myself personally. You know, we were talking about earlier about being that motherfucker, that fucking, we're the stone core, we're the foundation of those around us. And we want the best for everybody. And if we can do it, we're going to fucking do it for everybody. Yeah. Because not everybody has that inclination to do everything or have that ability to do everything.
For sure.
So for us, and I say us, it's like, bro, like, I feel like I'm looking at a fucking twin. Just with a way better beard.
Because y'all know why? You know why? Because them two got a lot more in common, trust me. On the technical side of this shit. Them two?
Yeah, and the thing we were talking about earlier before the podcast started, it's just like, you know, for, you know, a little over a decade, I was completely okay with being the background guy and making things happen for other people. You know, I'm okay with that. I didn't need, you know, just let me get paid a little bit for my work, and you know,
enough to have a little
I'll jumpstart your career. And you know, I don't want to brag, but I'm just saying from our area, I jumpstarted a few people's careers. It's like I was definitely and I
got to that point. I got to that point in my life. I was always the man in front. I used my body. I used myself. I used fake the image. I did a whole bunch of shit just to do whatever. But I got to the point where I was like, you know what? I'm better behind the scenes. I'm just better off behind the damn scenes making the calls. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I used to look up to Puff Daddy.
That didn't age well.
God, that didn't age well at all. I used to call myself the Diddy of the city. The Diddy of the city. Is that the I used to call myself the Diddy of the city, bro. And then but it's like
Well, I mean, it's just one of those things. And again, it always comes back to that industry and the agenda from the elitists, and it just, from an outside far, like if you didn't know what was going on and what's like actually going on fucking now, absolutely. Like Diddy was a fucking staple and a absolute foundation to hip hop and everything that's along to hip hop. But some of us have always been hip to the grip on how fucking piece of shit you are, you motherfucker.
How you feel?
Take that, bitch.
Listen, man. There's an unreleased Kendrick song. So not a lot of people know about it, but it was one of the most genius songs I've ever heard, and he has 3 verses, and he wrote these verses from popular songs, from the perspective of the popular song as if it was a child.
No way.
And your father is a piece of shit.
What the
So
fuck?
the very first verse is about ABCs by the Jackson
5.
And
wow.
it talks about how much that song has brought happiness to the entire world versus what Michael Jackson may or may not have done. I don't think he did anything.
Or went through.
I'm on the side where, or went through. And it's like, is the child supposed to be punished from what this person did or whatever? Separating art from the artist. It's like, is that a thing?
Yeah.
And that song was like really powerful because let's stop lying to ourselves.
Yeah.
Diddy made monumental changes to how music is perceived today. Is he a piece of shit? For sure.
Yeah.
I can admit that. Now, once the evidence is there and everything, like, I'll totally admit that now he's a piece of shit. But like, let's not lie to ourselves because he's a piece of shit person.
Yeah.
I would hope people wouldn't do that. I would hope they. Yeah. Well, I don't want to say he could be.
Yeah, but
let's not take away his accolades.
Everyone's walking on eggshells. Yeah. Everyone's afraid to be like, no, P. Diddy was a great artist because of the cancel culture flashback that's going to come.
It's happening. It's fucking happening.
I would just say don't say that he wasn't great at what he did. Separate that from what you're seeing.
For sure.
Like exactly what he did.
Yeah, I know it's bad, man. It just
it sucks because
it does suck.
I've always
he's been the reason for a lot of shit.
Here's how your boy is always maneuvered, and I learned this coming into my own skin and growing up and evolving as a person. Like always wanting to be the standout, always wanted to be the center of attention, always wanted to be the class clown, always wanted to be the superstar, always wanted to be this, that, and third. At the same time, a moral value and a code of conduct is a big thing.
For sure. Yeah.
So to go off of that, it's like you can have all these accolades and praises, and you are a great music producer. You made great artists. You made legendary projects. You've made companies millions, if not billions of dollars. But if you're a piece of shit as a person,
he's learning that.
Fuck yeah.
Well, he's learning that. He's learning that right now. He's learning that.
Fuck yeah.
He's reading what he saw, and I'll just say
when you're extorting people for your own whatever the fuck is going on in your brain, I can't maneuver or move like that. I don't have that in me. Honestly, I've never had that.
You gotta ask yourself, what is it that that man could have everything, right? You're a billionaire, right?
Right.
Why the fuck are you putting your hands on a woman? What is it so deep? What is it so deep in you? You can have any woman on. You can go to Dubai and they're waiting for you lined up, right? The princess got them lined up for you, right? And why would you want to like her? Now I get it. See, I think what we're failing to realize as just, I don't want to say regular human, but not people just not living his life. Living his life is that he is a human being too. This is not making no excuses for him. But we fall in love, right? Right? We fell in love before, right? You like, oh, this is the one for me. Out of all the women in the world.
Bro, I'm in love. I've been in love for 17 years.
Yeah, and this is the one for me, right?
Come on now.
Well, You know what I mean? I think Diddy's that way. I think Cassie was that woman. Cassie was the woman for him, and he fell in love for the time being. But then when he has the what do you call it? I think and this is the beginning. Bro. And I think that he has the God complex. I can't be touched. I got cops as friends.
You're right on that.
He was already. It was already in him to be abusive.
You're right on that.
I think it was already in him to be who he was. But you know, I believe I've seen it to where I've had abusive friends. They beat the fuck out that girl, but they changed a new leaf when they met a new one. Oh God, I learned from that shit. I ain't never doing that again. Or they're with the girl still that they beat and they never beat them. You know what I mean? I believe people can change.
Here's my thing.
But hold on, hearing that, I mean, seeing what I seen, the graphicness of that, you can't. You was fighting a dude. You thought that was you blacked out. I don't care what happened. It shouldn't have never got to that level. So that's all I'm saying. Like, you lost my everything. And I can never see a man doing that to a woman. That's the most vicious thing I've seen, man. I've seen worse shit. We've all... Bro. But...
He kicked her like he was kicking a soccer ball, like Messi was trying to hit the game-winning goal, bro.
Like he was fighting a dude, bro.
Listen, man, I'm a drinker. I get blackout a lot.
Yeah.
Like... But I think, like, when you get blackout, like,
you still have a consciousness of
it's
true
like what's
heart.
inside you, like, kind of comes out. You know what I'm saying? And
that
it's
evilness
like
was there.
There's I've never, you know, I've hung out with plenty of friends. I got blackout drunk around plenty of friends. I never got angry. You know,
or want to fight somebody.
Yeah, because it's not. Like, it's just not inside me. And in the same way, like, I'm never gonna beat my woman.
Exactly.
Like, no matter how drunk I get. Yeah. You know,
think about if you're successful.
Exactly.
Like
so
him.
I wanted to bring that too. Is because because now not only let's say he has like 1% of that in him, but he learns how to hide it really well. Yeah. But then he just years and years and years of no one telling him no, and him pushing that little boundary of what he can get away with. Yeah. You know, like I feel like that 1% eventually bleeds out. And you know, shows you who they really are.
It's been 30 fucking years, right? Yeah. And R. Kelly's shit bled out. That ratio you're talking about, it can happen. And it's happening to a lot of people right now. And you know what they're saying, right? They're saying that this tape was released by the FBI. And the reason why they did it was because they want to make sure that Cassie is going to testify. Like, Cassie didn't sign that thing against Diddy, I guess. The NDA or whatever it is. The NDA, and so they want to make sure that, okay, we put this up here. You better not stray on us. And I think what it is leading to something bigger. Everyone's like, yo, the lawsuits. The trafficking, I think that's going to get proved. And I also think it's going to lead to something bigger that we are not having our eye on, man. And I just pray to God, because Epstein shit led to something bigger.
I think this is gonna be the biggest thing.
It could lead to Tupac's death, bro. Like on some shit like that. Like, hey man,
Keefy D.
And look, Shine went to prison.
Shine went to prison.
The witness said, I told you motherfuckers 10 years ago, 15 years ago, that Diddy shot me in the face.
Yo, look at Jaguar Wright. Look at Orlando Brown.
Yeah, man.
Like these child stars.
I'm disgusted, bro. I just gotta say, like, I'm fucking hurt, disgusted, man.
Yeah.
That man,
and it sucks
y'all may not have looked up to him because y'all. Well, how old are you?
32.
See, and how Phil is like, so
37.
I came up in that era. I've been around. The shiny suits, we was all right. No matter what y'all say, y'all had. I don't know about the shiny suits, but y'all was doing the Diddy dance out the door like I was. Stop playing with me. Better burn. Y'all was doing it. The Diddy had the city on. He had 10 straight years of, you know what I mean? Touch me, tease me, feeling never.
But listen to some of his lyrics.
Okay.
Is it the
but what I'm saying
I treated you like a brother.
He had some old school hits that you can't. He had hits that you can't. It's like R.
I'm gonna get your butt in the end.
He had hits that you can't. See me, I can listen to R. Kelly music and I'm fine with it because I think about grown women. I ain't thinking like him. He made them songs off of little girls. Yeah. I'm thinking about a grown ass woman. You know what I mean? So I can listen to that shit. You know what I mean? But it's like, for me, I'm disgusted because I looked up to him when I was in Japan. And like, bro, he was the idol. He was the one.
Look what you fucking did. Throwing off on a thing for me. Yeah. Like Lil Wayne. He is the reason why I wanted to rap.
Yeah.
I heard his shit back in 2007, and I'm just like, oh my God, like, bro, like, this is fucking incredible. Yeah. and looking up to Wayne for so many years. Like, he's been probably my GOAT of rappers.
Yeah.
Up to this day. Up to this time.
Yeah.
Up to this time. Still, I feel like Wayne is the greatest of all time. Yeah. Period. Yeah. Period. Fuck all that other nonsense. I don't give a fuck. Nobody went harder than Wayne. Pause. Yeah. And
no Diddy.
To hear some shit like that, like Wayne getting Diddy, for an example, how fucking crushing that would be. So I get where you're coming from.
Yeah, for
just
sure.
looking at like, and you know, we're not supposed to have idols, but like role models or people who influence you, or you know, really inspire you to do your craft, and you wanna see the best in it. And I think I was trying to get back to that part of it. Was like, for me personally, any interaction I have with somebody, meeting somebody for the first time, or just hanging out with them, my intentions come from, I'm looking at you as you, the best of you. Everybody has their secrets. Everybody has their demons and shit like that. But you know, when I interact with somebody, I'm looking at you as this is the best version of you, and I expect that. So when you hear some shit and it's like, what the fuck, bro? Like, your perception of like what is really real and what's a facade, it really takes a toll on you, because and honestly, it affects you in a way. Because you're like, man, like, yo, bro, you really moving like that? You've been doing this type of shit
the whole time, like
the whole time.
And it's just, but everyone has their demons. This is a deep demon for him, but I don't get it. I don't get why you would go to that depths, but she wasn't. I don't know, man. I think she was the one, the love of his life. He's always, you know, he's probably had a couple of them, but she was one of them. And then she got away, and he just, bruh, you just let. I'm gonna tell you like this. You look, this man was on the stock market. This man was down there talking to people on the stock market. He was around politicians. You can't. It don't look. This is like not on the Epstein level. This is bigger than the Epstein level. You know what I mean? Because of his status. This is Diddy. Diddy's a billionaire. Epstein wasn't no damn billionaire. You know what I mean? He's worth a lot of fucking money. You know what I mean? But I don't think he's worth. I don't think he was a billionaire. I could be wrong, but I don't think he was. But Harvey Weinstein, they're probably about to get ready to, I think I heard, let out of jail. Like, he might be getting ready to get let out. Yeah. That's why I tell people, R. Kelly, he might not do all that time, man. He might do 10 years and, you know, boom, boom, boom. But anyway, on to, since we're talking about that still, with the music thing, you have another album that came out, and it was called One More Time for the Internet. Is that it?
That one's not out yet.
That one's not out yet.
And I'm not sure if that's going to be the name. So maybe I should reveal this right now.
Yes.
I talked to my friends about this, and it's a really weird situation for me where I have a lot of people that listen to my music. A lot. Yeah. I get views. Yeah. But also in the same vein, everyone views me as a content creator. So no one really cares if I release an album or not. So that I put out an album release date for One More Time for the Internet. For April 26th. We're past April 26th. I didn't even make a post saying, hey, the album's not coming out. And not one person said anything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But and that's it's like, good. That's hey, y'all learn from that. Learn from that, guys.
But like a lot of people, a lot of artists would get in their fields. You know what I'm saying? Dude, I've been on the internet since I was fucking like 14 years old. I know how internet culture is.
You
like there's so much shit. Like it's fine, dude. And I didn't. My goal when I posted that wasn't to pull back the album, but after listening to it and just coming up with new ideas, I was like, I'm not happy with this album. I'm just not going to drop it. And no one says shit. So it's fine. And it's like when the album does drop, does numbers, everyone loves it and everything and, you know, all that stuff. But like people know me as a content creator, which I think is like a blessing. Like that's an advantage for me over, you know, artists that are just artists. You know, they're like, where's the fucking album, man? We need the fucking... No one's mad at me for not dropping an album.
But that's a good way to look at it. It's a good way to stop your feelings from being hurt. Because a lot of guys, they drop something and they get 2 likes on the, you know, and they like, we're celebrating, which is good for your own. But let's be real. You know what I mean? No one... I'm no one even knew it came out. You got 3 likes, brother. It's been 3 weeks. You still got 3 likes, and It's just not brother. It's just not. For you, it was great. You're working your job still, and you're back depressed, and you didn't even give that album a chance.
I think of content the same way too, because like some of my dumbest ideas will get a million. And then something that I know for sure in my heart will go viral.
You put work into.
Like we'll get like 1,000.
We'll get
like,
nothing. We'll get.
And it fucking sucks though, but like. Again, this is so weird. It's like my fucking twin. It's so funny because like the thing for me is I get that kind of pass too. Yeah. Just because it's like we know Phil and thanks, friend.
Oh, Phil's dropping an album June 28th or whatever, and then Phil doesn't drop it. And
they're like, oh well, the new podcast is pretty funny. You know what I'm saying? Oh, that new beat was dope. You know what I mean? So like, I get that too, and. Last podcast, I said, you know, by this time it drops, the album's going to be out, and I'm still working on that motherfucker. I'm not happy with it.
Yeah, you might. You
want to know something?
I'm not happy with it.
Sorry, not to interrupt you. Like sometimes this happens with social media a lot, but sometimes I'll get extra validation that I knew something was fire because I'll post it. For instance, I posted a video, got 1,000 views. Minimal interactions, right? The next video I posted got 500,000. And people went to my page and started scrolling backwards, and that video was the next video they watched. And then that video popped off, and everyone's like, yo, this is insane. Why does this have 1,000 views? You know? And then that skyrocketed to like 80,000. And I was like, yo, I knew that piece of content was fire. I knew it. Exactly. I was right.
And that's the fucking devil in doing what we do, because of like we put in the hard work. We put in that all in creating something that not only resonates to us, but we also feel like it's going to resonate to everybody. And when it doesn't happen, circling all the way back to what we were talking about earlier, you can't get fucking butthurt on this shit. No Diddy. I just like throwing that in there. You can't get butthurt on that just because it didn't resonate, even though you thought it was, and you're like, yo, this is fucking crazy. Like, I've had plenty of records and a really small catalog of like videos that I've put up and I thought would do amazing. The record New Tomorrow, I put that out during COVID. It was like in like April, like late April, early May of 2020, when everybody was locked in. I was like, yo, this would be an amazing time to put this video out, this record out, and ultimately try to get like, you know, some real fucking capture off of it. And it didn't do anything I thought. But there's some of this other shit that I do that I'm like, I have just a whim. It was a beat freestyle. And it goes crazy. I did the remember the Lyrical Lemonade shit? The freestyle with the MPC, and you know we so basically like what we did over at and this is one of Jamie's ideas over at One Room. This is back when we were on Mulberry, and just recorded sounds off of like the can hitting the ground, popping the top, and then I loaded it into the MP and had like made a kick out of the boom and the hi-hats out of the snare and that fucking Cole Bennett, Lyrical Lemonade, fucking asked to have that video to post it on Lyrical Lemonade's page. And it was just a stupid little idea that had the most fucking reception.
That's always how it is, man. Always.
Yeah. And then your most well thought out, well executed, like, man, I put my heart and soul. Bro, this is the epitome of me, and my God, if people don't fucking like this, then I'm the worst artist ever. And then it just flops on his face. It's comical.
My most viral videos, for the most part, have always just been on a whim stuff.
It's on the whim.
It's on the whim. And I feel like that's the best content. The off the whim shit. And I also feel like that's the best product. Off the move.
Move.
Bro, let's just think about what was supposed to happen that day. Not only was your birthday, we got rained out. Shit it fell awry. Mark was supposed to pull up and record. He didn't make it. And then we just let's go through some beats. Let's just go through some beats.
Put that on.
That beat hit. I was like, okay.
I was ready.
We circled that, went through more beats, and then came back, played that beat again, and I was just like, move. And wait, we got something there.
Yeah.
Like, yo, all right, let's stop what the fuck we're doing. Let's just load up in Pro Tools and let's fucking go.
Now, my thing is, it's rare form for him to, because he wears so many hats. I get it. It's hard to even concentrate to write. But at that moment, you got to catch him. When he says, let's do it, you got to be ready. Because it's rare to catch him because he got so many hats, but he's always ready. But he inspired me to be like, yeah, let's get this motherfucker done right now. Like, this is going to be epic because we don't get a lot of the moments where you get it done in the studio right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And sit there and mix it and like just a quick mix, you know, for you something to listen to when you ride home and you're like, you know what I mean? Like,
and just going hype and then come to find out you're fucking playing it 11 times at the
my job,
District Cannabis and
all types of places, bro. Like,
real quick,
and
I think it's a great time to transition into our next segment.
Absolutely.
The next segment. Do you want another shot? I got 2 poured up. There's a third empty.
Yeah, let's go ahead.
You want one?
I
got you.
You got a shot?
Yeah, I got.
We're gonna do another shot, motherfuckers. We in the Roaches motherfucking podcast. We got
Roaches.
Let's go, baby. Bradley Atom. Motherfucking Gengarcade. The fucking
Gengarcade at Gengarcade Gen Arcade, right?
Gengarcade.
Gengar. The Pokemon Gengar and Arcade combined. Gengarcade.
See, I don't know what that even means.
And I'm gonna ask you real quick. Where'd your album art come from, Gengarcade? Because it was the pool setting and it had like the X's and then like the lines drawn in, and it was so fucking well executed. And I love the idea. It was just like I'm always like a really weird creator when it comes to those kind of things. Like we're talking about like a visual, like how fucking like, okay, it's a pool, but we got like little white X's. And,
So, okay, all 3 of my album covers, I have a hard drive from pre-2015 that I have a rule that I can't go through it because it's going to make me really sad. There's love lost. There's like, I miss everything from that era. And if I look through it, I'm going to get sad. So I just don't do it. Except when I need album art. So all 3 albums have been from that hard drive.
Let's go.
Where I took a picture of my friends or just some other shit. That specific time, I always hated going on vacation with my family because they would always fight and act like they're having a good time, and I just hated it. So eventually, when I got a little older, they just let me stay home and just give me pizza money and just get that for a week. And dude, I would have everyone over and fucking raging. So
I get that. I love that.
That specifically, that album cover by the pool was took at like 3 a.m. in the morning. We were just swimming by the pool and shit and fucking around with some of my friends.
I try to do those little innuendos, and I actually have a album art for Move.
Okay.
And it's my fucking guy from like when I worked at Keystone RV Center. And his name's Andy Anderson. Shout out to the GOAT, Andy Anderson. He was a dirt track race car driver. But he got a pretty big fucking following in this area because he was fucking good. And I have a photo of him with a fucking mullet. And he's in his track shit, and he's holding a trophy. And I saved that photo specifically for an album art. But the album hasn't came yet. And then I was like, Move. Like, yo, bitch, get the fuck out my way. And it was a dirt.
Which Dirty Phil?
Yo,
I got it. Call Move,
Come on now. All right, we're going to get into this motherfucking shot real quick with our boys right here. This has been a legendary episode. Roaches podcast. Cheers to the just fucking geniuses in the room.
Salute. Roaches podcast, baby. What are we drinking, Phil?
I love it.
What are we drinking today?
Well, I was going to tell you. It's interesting you asked me.
Because I know dementia's setting in.
Because
we getting old.
When you know. You know. You recognize.
You acknowledge it.
And I feel the coldness on my hand.
Okay.
Because I'll tell you what.
What?
You know it ain't right.
It ain't right.
If your boy ain't sipping that natural light. that crisp, refreshing. I'm doing it every motherfucking session. Let's go, boys. Let's go.
Boom, they got me fucked up. See, I'm doing that white boy shit. I'm taking a shot and
welcome. Happy here.
Pray for me, y'all. Pray for me. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh god. You know what I'm saying? So look, I got something. Action. So I got something for you before we move into our next segment, because we're going to get into that. There was something that I noticed that it's kind of related. I had the same kind of situation, but it's a little relation. So a while back, and I was like, man, this is really interesting. And so there was a you basically said you think your belief was the best beat that was ever made was Give It To Me featuring Timbaland and Nelly Furtado.
Oh my God.
Featuring Timberlake.
Timberlake was the beat maker. Yeah. Right?
Oh my God.
So I sat back and I was like, wow. And I'm just listening. I'm like, you know, you never really, it made me go back to that beat and like, you never really appreciate. Timbaland got his credit. He got his credit when his time was around, and he still does, right?
Timbo the King.
So shout out to Timbaland, you know what I'm saying?
Timbaland and Pharrell, best drums in the game.
Yeah, they got some credit. You can't do what they do, right? So when you said that, right, and you was like, you put up a post after that, and he was like, yo, I told y'all asses, and he texted somebody or did something. He sent someone a message and said, hey, yo, I'm telling you right now, this is the video, and then something came out or whatever it was, and you were obviously right, or it was something. What was it? Was that it?
Oh yeah, no, that was with first of all, I'm really good at making music predictions. I got my thumb on the industry. Man.
I've been like that too.
Yeah, I peep so much like game or whatever. But anyhow, Four Bats came out with a song.
Four Bats.
And it went viral on TikTok. But when I watched it first, I'm like one bar in, and I immediately was like, Drake.
I swear
Drake,
to God.
I was like Drake's gonna have something to do with this, bro.
I swear to God. Remember I told you, I said Four Bats?
Yeah, and what happened is, so whenever I have those thoughts, I always hit someone. Yeah. So I have proof.
Yeah.
You know, time coded proof.
That's
and I said, yo, I was like, Drake is either gonna A, remix that Four Bat song, or he's gonna B, completely steal the vibe of it, like the whole thing of it, right?
Yeah.
And then a month later, he made a post that was like, Four Bats remix out now. I'm like,
there it is.
Yeah, it's crazy because I actually hit him last year and he responded.
Yeah.
I hit him when I first heard that song, bro. He had that song been out a while, bro. You know, so me up and something, You know what I mean? I was like, bro, you keep doing what you're doing. I was like, I saw it. I was like, you keep doing what you're doing. Thank you, Pops. That's all he said. Yeah. Thank you, Pops, as long you know what I mean? But I was thinking, watch this. I said, watch this, Drake. It's going. Drake came on my mouth, but I wasn't really specifying him.
Yeah.
But it was somebody. Was Kanye.
Yeah.
And then guess what? Kanye was fucking with him in the studio too. So I'm like, yo, because it's a sound that you haven't heard. You've heard it before, but his looks don't go with it.
Yeah.
His looks don't go. But my point was to that was. So when Metro Boomin, Future, and Drake and all them beef and everything, right? Mm-hmm. When the BBL Drizzy came out, we were at my job. Mm-hmm. And they can vouch for me in my job. When Metro Boomin dropped the disc, BBL, Drizzy, BBL, I told them all, I was like, look, the best thing Drake can do is do a freestyle. I mean, do something to this, yo. I swear. And then they was like, nah, that would be corny. But some people understood. Some people understood. But I was like, I'm telling you, if I was Drake, the chess move would tomorrow. Drake, get in the studio now. Yeah. I even put up a lie, like Drake. As soon as he dropped it, it was like an hour out. Bro, I was already on it. Like, Drake, you got to do something to this right now.
Well, okay.
I'm telling you real quick, just my thing. Yeah. Just my thing. Yeah. That's why Drake the GOAT. I'm sorry.
Well, this is my thing. Well, my point Drake about it was he is for that. This is what I'll say. This is what I'm gonna say. I agree with Phil. After this right here, I have to say Drake's probably the greatest right now because he might go down as like it. Bro, because the reason why
real quick, I'll let y'all continue. I just want to say something. Like one sentence real quick. It's just like It's so fun to be in a room with two other rap politicians because there's people that listen to rap and then there's people that are politicians that understand. There's people that listen to the Drake diss and they get one thing, and then there's people that peep every line is like, nah, that was a shot at this because of this and this and this. It's almost like what women do with like keeping it with the Kardashians and Taylor Swift drama. But it's like this is rap shit. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like we know everything that fucking happened. This is our Taylor Swift, all right? Let us have it. Let us fucking go back and forth. And real quick, just also, bro, those that little month span was a great time for rap, bro.
It was the greatest. Listen, I'm gonna tell everyone right now. He just said it. I'm as an OG. It's two different eras. I would say it was the greatest time because the Biggie and Pac and the Nas and Jay-Z shit was too, but this is a different eye opener because what it is, I look at both are winners. I don't see. If I said
hip hop won.
Yeah, hip hop won because I said hip hop. They both can rap their ass off. We can say one got one got the other. Yeah. One
they got each other though.
You know, we can say Kendrick is on
Family
top.
Matters though.
Yeah. Yeah, but if you
shut the fuck up,
people sleep on Euphoria. People sleep on Euphoria.
You know
Euphoria is the hardest song that dropped out of the whole thing.
But you know what Family Matters was crazy.
But that's your
exactly. I wanted to bring this up too. So we were talking about like top fives earlier, where like Wayne's your GOAT, right?
Yeah.
And everyone wants to argue top fives or whatever this, and this. I think here's a better argument where we can all agree on, because I'm gonna think my number one is different than yours and the same as yours.
Yeah.
What I think we should do from here on out when we're having those arguments is let's talk about who is genuinely, no matter who you are, we can all agree they're in the conversation. You know what I'm saying? That's a better metric.
That is a good metric.
Because if I came to you and I said I think Ja Rule's the best rapper of all time, everyone is gonna be like, what are you talking about, bro? Like,
but when you say
so if you're in the conversation, then you're valid. You know what I'm saying? And then from that list, we can have our opinions about who's top five.
Right, because when you talk about basketball players, Michael Jordan, no matter what era he's in, he's always in the conversation.
Exactly. LeBron.
Kobe.
They're in the conversation. Wilt, they're in the conversation. So I feel like that's a better. And I love to argue with people, man. It's fun, like in a healthy way.
Yeah,
like I'll sit here and I'll argue with you.
I can't argue.
No,
I got debate.
I'll give you an unpopular opinion just to get your shit.
I love getting my opinion across or whatever. But
I use debate. I got a debate because if I argue, I'm gonna get a headache. I argue like a debate. I think it's the same thing.
Yeah.
I think debate is
debate is a friendlier argument, which is what I actually like.
Political term.
And that's what we like to do here on the Roaches podcast is like more so debate than fucking argue. And honestly enough, it's been to our dismay. Ain't nothing ever went crazy here.
Yeah.
You know why? I mean, we got the vibes going. Like we're chilling.
We good, and it's a great conversation. You know what I mean? Like you said, it was a great time in hip hop. You agree too, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I think there's two things that happened in the past few months. The roast of Tom Brady.
And
the Drake and Kendrick beat. The two greatest things that entertainment history has happened. Because guess what? Cutthroat roast comedy is fucking back, baby. It's back. And my boy Tony Hinchcliffe. My boy, my fucking boy, Tony Hinchcliffe. Bro.
What's this button? I want this button. Is this the bomb?
That's the...
I need that button. I'm getting jealous of y'all.
By the way, we're having a national thunderstorm right now. We're having this pouring down tornado.
Hey, we're good. Guess what? We're solidified right here in the Roaches podcast.
I was like, oh shit!
For y'all entertainment
people say that, now all of a sudden that window's gonna come down and a flood's
Nah, we good.
Trust me,
you're good.
It's good.
We are here to Stuzium, baby. Yeah. We straight, right? Burr.
Listen, but this place is solidified because somebody tried to break in. Almost successfully locked down, and it didn't work. So.
But it was great I think it was great for the culture. Like we say, the whole situation. I think it was great. I just think the other beefs, like this, didn't end in something Violet, and I love the way Drake bowed out gracefully. Like he accepted his L, and that's what we gotta love about Drake. He accepted the L. He took an L. And like like Drake, I love you. Like it's not about rapping. But if we all not have to choose, if you went up and you voted to say who won, we know what the majority of the world, because I'm sorry, they not like us. They like, I don't even really fuck with this shit. But my foot be moving by itself like this, Drake. My foot be moving, it be bouncing, and my hands start bouncing with the beat and the bop, bro. And I think if
it was scored, I think if we scored it out like an actual like game in a sport, I think Kendrick would be at 100 and Drake would be at 92. I think it was a great
it's close. But if we rapping wise, I think it's both the same. See me on the rapping era, it's a draw.
But
it's
here's what I would say, because here's the one thing that I would give to Kendrick. Yeah. Because how many times have people clowned Kendrick on being taking too long to write a verse? And you hear this concept of Kendrick like taking his time and doing things, and obviously, you know, as a creator. Yeah, you take your time. You want to make sure you're doing some great shit.
He sure did. He took 2 weeks.
But you know what the fuck he did?
He took 2 weeks and came back.
Bro, he motherfucking rushing his back and said, "Listen here, I'm a motherfucking Kendrick. I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna spit you some motherfucking balls."
Yo, also Kendrick, one thing that Kendrick is really good at that people don't talk about enough is he knows how to push buttons to make things happen his way. Oh, you know? Even from the Control verse.
You know what I'm saying? Coast shit.
Yeah, where it's
he's ready. He baited you. He's ready.
Exactly. He's really good at being like, listen, I want to do this, so I'm going to drop this to make you do this. Like,
and then I'm going to
He's waving $1. He's waving $1. He's waving $1 with a fish hook. And then when you take it, he's like, I got it. Like,
got you.
Look, but you know what? Drake is the same way. Drake will bait you. He say little things, but they ready. They got a great team. They got a great fucking team. They're like, all we got to do is fill in these parts right here. You got to
all I'm saying though is, and this is where I'll give Drizzy his flowers, a Roach pack. And then we'll get on to our segment because we got to wrap this shit up.
Wrap it up.
But yo, I don't give the OVO fucking spitter, bro. I just can't deny. I can't deny the entire body of work that Drake has put out, and this motherfucker's been clowned since day one.
For sure.
Let's not neglect the fact that
you're a singer and a rapper. Bro.
You're a singer and a rapper. You know, you were acting on Degrassi. You look stupid.
For sure.
Like fucking Cripple Jimmy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And now he's the GOAT. He's in the conversation.
I cannot, from the day fucking one way back when I first heard
Drake's never let no one down.
When I've heard Drake spit from the first fucking time, and it was on like a Young Money mixtape, and I was like, you already know what it is when you heard Drake making hoes wobble like knees in an earthquake. Like from that moment, I was a fan.
Yeah.
And can we please shout out? Can we please stop? Can we please shout out Lil Wayne again?
Yeah.
And
Lil Wayne, because of Lil Wayne.
I say Wayne's goated.
Lil Wayne.
There's a lot of rappers that wouldn't be here.
Because of Lil Wayne, Drake would not be here.
Drake would not be here if it not was from the GOAT.
The GOAT recognized the GOAT.
Yeah.
And when Wayne was locked down, what did Drizzy do?
He held
down Wayne. He was fucking 100. Yo, you can't tell me.
Yeah, man.
You can't tell me that Drake isn't a motherfucking day one guy.
Shout out to you, Drake. Shout out to you.
Come on, man. You can't fucking tell me. That motherfucker just elevated everything.
Yeah.
They just coming in with his fucking little R&B vibes and shit, making Pain's Cream and shit like that. And then coming with some hard bars and
you know what though?
Fuck you, bitch.
But you know what though? Even besides that, I gotta give him credit on always responding, no matter what. Yo, that's what makes you great.
He ain't scared.
And you know what? And let's add something else in there. Let's stop the bullshit. At this point, even if you let's keep it real. I'm just gonna keep it real on the side of my side, because a lot of these young kings that are rapping right now, that have made it, they need help. You ain't got nothing to talk about. Drake has a great team, and if you have ghostwriters with you, that's great.
Yeah.
That is awesome. That's what makes you look. If you're a running back, you need teams to block, right? You need your line to block,
you need your O-line. You need a good O-line.
You have a good line
O-line
to get through. You're gonna touchdown every time.
Yeah.
So that's why it's good. Like if someone can throw you something, Like Metro, shut your ass and make some drums. I bet you someone threw Drake that line. Drake,
Well, you know why?
That line.
It's because
and it was great
Metro
though,
would be
man.
sampling a lot.
Good fucking line though.
Well, yo,
It's a good
fucking line.
Hey, if I'm going over the time, let me just please.
Nah.
Hey, you're good.
But real quick, one of the things that actually I wanted to put in this little idea bowl that I didn't is I find it so weird how Drake gets clowned for having ghostwriters and Kanye doesn't.
But
why is Kanye a genius for bringing all these artists together so they can write for him to make this great thing?
But here's the thing.
And Drake doesn't.
I don't think they do it anymore.
Hang on, because he made a fantastic point.
Yeah.
And the fact that Kanye was on Drink Champs and even said that Drake wrote that shit.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for Drake.
Yeah. I mean, Kanye even said Drake wrote 30 Hours in one of his songs.
Yeah.
Bro, we all have
30 Hours was my favorite song off Life of
But I'm
Pablo.
gonna keep it real with both of you. I don't think now, if you ask that same question, it don't matter. That's why I said what I said. It's like if you have a ghostwriter now, if you have that on your squad,
it's not even about ghostwriting though.
Here's the thing: it does matter because Kendrick just said it in 3 songs.
But you know what though?
And he's with the culture.
But you know what though?
It's true.
I don't think anyone even gave a fuck because you don't really hear no one mentioning it, right?
Yeah.
But Drake went against that.
Okay.
Hey, Metro, set your ass up and make some drums, nigga.
Yeah.
So someone threw him that line. I'm telling you,
That's
right
a
now.
great line.
Let me
too,
throw
man.
you a
Such a good
curveball
line.
on why The Dream, one of my favorite of all time, The Dream,
Yeah.
with his fucking ass.
Ooh, baby. Yeah, we know.
How many songs has he wrote for fucking
Everybody.
everybody?
You don't
That's
know the
never
Benny
brought up.
Benny Blanco, bro. The
Yo, I love Benny Blanco.
Benny Blanco,
Bro,
yeah.
man.
They write like Pharrell.
Pharrell is crazy.
More hits.
Pharrell hits a lot of hits.
That's the
Undercover
craziest
and
thing.
everything.
Like, I would be honored to be a ghostwriter.
But you gotta look
I'd
at it
be
like this
honored
too.
for that
But you
shit,
gotta look at it like
bro.
this too. A lot of them don't want to be. They catching. Look, you think Pharrell wants to be? No, he had that.
Bro,
he
when
like
that
this.
paycheck-
Yo, I
listen.
was on the beach like this with it.
Shut the
I
fuck
made
up,
that beat in
because-
15
Yo,
minutes. That one.
when that
I made
paycheck-
30 million. Yeah, baby.
Bro, when that paycheck hits your bank account, are you mad that you ain't the center of attention? No.
Don't get too far into that because you talk negatively about industry plants. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
when that
true.
money hits your bank
Don't
account,
go there.
you know what I'm saying? You can't
Don't
go
go
too
there.
far into it,
Don't
bro.
go there.
You
Don't
can't
go
go too
there.
far into it.
Yo, but I'm talking legitimate though. Like this ain't the industry.
Yeah, no, I
thing.
get where I get where you're
That was fucking great. That was fucking
was a
great.
good one. That was a good one right there, bro. You know what I'm saying? But what we're gonna do, because we gotta move on.
Yep.
We got to move on.
And what we're gonna do is get into
The segment of segments. The
Brenda Roaches. They do the dimbela. Give me the pie bag of you.
Hey there.
So we have on our Roaches podcast, our episode, our segment of the
Roaches
fucking random
podcast.
roaches.
We got our fucking tray
Random
full
roaches.
of ideas,
look at that.
questions, and the ultimate
roaches in
conundrum.
here.
It's
What
the
we
ultimate conversation starter
Yes,
if you
sir.
want to get real to it.
And what we do is we allow I love the way Phil put a screw up in there. That is so great because it keeps them from getting all
I'm gonna pick
bundled
the
up.
screw.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
and
you
we
gotta pick
allow
the screw.
basically what we do with the random roaches is every guest that's came here over time has put down like 3 or more, whatever, how many suggestions,
It's unlimited.
scenarios, questions.
You don't get a cap on
You don't
it.
get a cap on it.
Do what you do.
You put it in there and we talk about it. Questions, scenarios,
Yep.
and we let the guests pull the first one.
And holy fucking moly, we better get a
Yeah.
fucking good one.
Yes, we better get a good one. I hope it
Here we
is.
go.
'Cause sometimes
First,
we get the
random.
and we discuss them.
I don't even know what this. Hold on.
Are
See-
you guys coming out with any merchandise for Roaches?
There it is.
Oh shit! Okay. What do you think, Phil? I think Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
And now when he's throwing away, because guess what?
I think we've asked
That was
that
in
already.
the previous one.
Wasn't that we asked that? But yes, we are. And I'll keep it real with you guys. There's no real set time on that because you can drop something dope in the wintertime and you can drop something dope in the summertime, the springtime. There's no real set time. But
Well,
we
we're
were
going to
just
say
talking
this.
about that today.
We're going to shout out our guy.
Yes.
Z with the
motherfucking
T's.
T's. And by the way,
Let's go.
Z with the T's, he does all of our apparel. He does everybody around Waynesboro area, Hagerstown area, Chambersburg area, and now he has started another venture. I think it's called Where the Weed At.
And he's
on
a
Instagram.
lawn care provider.
Lawn care provider on the internet, on his Instagram. I believe it's called Where the Weed At. So shout out to
our guy.
Zaire.
MI555.
MI55 on, and I think it's Where the Weed at Where the Weed At too.
Let's go.
On Instagram. And we want to shout out our other sponsor while we're talking about sponsor. Breeze
Trees in the motherfucking
who
building.
blessed me again with some melon frappe. We got some melon frappe. Show that to the
right here, baby.
Yes.
Right here.
We got
Breeze
some melon
Trees.
frappe.
Shout out our girl, Summer
Yes,
Breeze with the
shout out
trees
Summer
coming in
Breeze.
crisp and clean.
Yes.
Every day.
Yes.
All day.
All day. So, we answered that. Now we're on to Dirty Fiznil.
All right. I can't wait. Oh, boy. Wow, this is fun. Best local artist. Here's my answer. Everyone.
Oh, that's a cop out.
Yeah.
You don't want to fight no one. That's what that is. You don't want to show up at the bar and fight someone.
All right, look, I can't.
All right,
Look, we're gonna figure this out. We're gonna figure this out. We're gonna figure that question out because we gotta learn how to
That's
get.
a tough one, though.
We gotta learn as journalists, if you want to say, how to get past certain questions.
Oh, man.
I think we should rearrange the question. I think it should say, who do you think is either doing their thing?
I didn't write it.
Yeah, but
somebody else did.
No, I'm talking about whoever. I'm talking to whoever wrote it.
Yeah.
I think they should rearrange the.
Actually, at this point in time, I will give it to Sonny motherfucking Bronco.
And we gotta give it to Sonny.
I'm gonna give it to Sonny Bronco. And shout out to our guy just because, and I'll make it real quick.
Yeah.
Not only is he a very aware, a very
woke as fuck
articulated rapper, a very woke rapper. He just is he encompasses everything that is local.
He embodies
himself.
Shit. Yes.
And loves the hometown, wants to be a part of the hometown, and that's a lot of things that in what you were talking about earlier, especially you. Talking about how we got the PA, the Maryland, we'll say the DMV,
Virginia,
or the DMWV, or like just that small, that conglomeration of like PA, Maryland, and our little ball of fun of what we have here in our area.
Yeah.
And it's like we do absolutely have what I think is the best creators. Yeah. We're so different and we're so diverse.
Yeah.
And dishing back to like what you were saying is like, bro, we do have every encompass of life. Yeah. We have different races. We have different walks of life. We have different fucking cultures up in this bitch. But the thing about that is I feel like when we all come together, we all get along. We all understand our sense of thinking and mental awareness. And I think that it really holds true to the point that we're like, bro, this is us.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Like, this is us.
Yeah. Yeah. And I wanted to add to that. I agree. Sonny Bronco is holding the torch. And I that's just my opinion. And it's because of what he's doing, the hard work every single day. Not only that, bro, it's that he taught himself everything. Mm-hmm. He, in his mind, was one of them guys
self-educated,
self-disciplined, said, you know what, I'm not gonna, if I gotta spend $100,000 with you, I can spend $300 and get a camera and learn myself. And he learned himself. And he's now getting better and better.
It's incredible.
Building relationships everywhere. Mm-hmm. Putting it out. It's not just a rapping thing. It's he's making his own lane.
It's all about.
I've always said that it's only a matter of time for that guy because it is it's a vision that I see. It's a vision I see that he can capture. His mind is deep. His raps are deeper than what the young kings are saying right now. Sonny Sonny can definitely pack a crowd of 1,000 people for the rest of his life. I can see it. Mm-hmm. Like 1,000 people room. He has his own. He don't need a sign. Sonny just needs to. It needs to get to a point to where, and he might need a little help. We all have. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Need a little help. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I think that, and I've been working behind the scenes for some things. You just can't pressure people that are already there. They won't listen, and they don't see the vision you see sometimes. Yeah. No matter what you've done in your life. Yeah. You know what I mean? Where's that hit record at, though? It's always about that. It's not about the... Yeah. You don't see what we see, though.
But at the end of the day, like, sometimes you do got to, like, step back and just, like, realize where, you know, us as creators, we embody the fact that we may not get the recognition that we think we deserve or we do deserve. Yeah. But it's like, we're doing this for a purpose. And a lot of the time, it's not about us. It's about the people who consume the music that we create or the content we create. And just dipping back into what I was saying earlier, it's just like, we want to make people feel better about themselves because, let's be honest, like, I cannot emphasize it enough. Like, the people who create this music for other people, like, we're going through some shit. We all have these inner feelings and demons inside ourselves, and we're trying to work that shit out too. And what better way to do that is to help the next person. Or the person who can't come onto a mic and record a song or make a beat or express themselves in a certain kind of way. So,
And before we move on to the next, that just gave me speaking on something special here. Before we move on to the next random roach, with you, we know Mac Miller passed away, right? And from what I understand and what I've seen, you actually had not just a show. You was on the bus. You was traveling with Mac Miller at some point. Yeah. What were those times like for people that
ladders?
Like, the people that hear about Mac Miller they don't know. You was there. What was those times?
I'm going to talk about a very specific 2 weeks of my life that I will forever say was the best 2 weeks of my life I've ever had, ever. It was just jam-packed with some of my favorite moments in the entire world. We were finishing up Choose Broken Hearts Make Money, who is one of my best friends, one of my brothers, and is signed to Mac Miller at the time on his Remember music label. And I was kind of the producer, engineer, and videographer for Chew. I was doing all that background stuff for Chew to make it happen or whatever. So we were finishing up Broken Hearts Make Money, and Mac was like, yo, come out to LA for 2 weeks and finish the album. So we went out there, we stayed at his crib, and just, man, like, it was such a good time the whole way through, and just kind of seeing little glimpses of the lifestyle and seeing him and, do his craft and everything. And just for a time period, it was so funny because Mac had a recording studio in his house, and his engineer Josh Berg was pretty much like recording for us the whole time or whatever. We did a 14-hour session. Oh my God. We're drunk, we're high, we're dead, we're ready to go to sleep. It's 5 a.m. and Mac comes in the studio after being out all day, and he goes, yo, play me everything you made today. Played him everything we made today, all the songs that we made for the day. And he goes, cool. I just wanted to be sure that today I made the best song. Like on this day, He was like, I wanted to be sure that today I made the best song. And now that I heard what you made, he's like, I made the best song today. And it was the Migos song he did with Amigos, and he played us the song, and he also played some other tracks he made during the day. But I remember sitting there listening to the Migos shit. I'm like, he's right. I don't know. Like, you got that, bro. That shit was so hard, bro. Like, I growed up looking up the wrestling, found out it was fake and started hustling. Like bro, that Mac Migos song is crazy, bro. But yeah, man, it's just like everything that people say about Mac is true. He is a genuine dude like not a dickhead, just really, you know, everything about him as an artist that shines through his music is genuine. They say never meet your idols. Never meet your idols except Mac Miller. You know, like it's like he was an honest, genuine dude.
Dude, I would have loved.
It's a big loss to the hip hop community.
Yeah, I would have loved to hang out with that guy, man. I tell you what, Mac Miller, he had a very special place in my heart as far as like music goes and everything, and just his. It was like a genuine approach to like hip hop because it wasn't like conformed to anything like everybody wanted to do. And I would say that to also Wiz Khalifa in the same regard. They were under that umbrella. You know what I mean? They were still under that umbrella, but there was something different about Mac Miller. And the reason why I say that is because he was a motherfucker to get on the guitar.
Oh yeah,
bass,
yeah.
Played
piano,
all the instruments
and be a core part of an actual song in a record.
Yeah,
and a motherfucker
like a deep part.
He didn't have like a fucking Fleetwood voice. He didn't have like the fucking lead singer of fucking Led Zeppelin.
He was one of them ones
Hendrix and whatever.
Yeah,
he just fucking belted from the soul of his core.
Right.
You don't have to be a good singer. Right. But if what you're belting out and it translates to a good record, bro, people are going to fucking feel that shit.
One quick, just mini little story about, you know, how he was a musician or whatever. When we were in LA, you know, we were around his studio. Josh was showing me all the stuff that he had. And one of the things he had was an accordion. And Josh told me the story about how that was Daniel Johnston's accordion. And for people who don't know who Daniel Johnston is, he was just like, he's like kind of like has a cult following of being this really underground indie artist that had a ton of potential, recorded all these crazy demo tapes, and then slowly had dementia and went more and more insane, and he couldn't play guitar anymore and all this other stuff. And it's like very few people know about that. And anyhow, Daniel Johnston's team put up a Kickstarter for a documentary on him called The Devil and Daniel Johnston. And Mac Miller donated $100,000 to make that movie happen. And in return, Daniel Johnston gave Mac Miller that accordion that had hand-drawn images that Daniel Johnston drew on each key. And I'm sitting there holding it.
What the fuck?
And I got an unreleased Mac Miller album where the intro song is all accordion.
Oh shit!
And it's played on Daniel Johnston's accordion. And it's like it literally sends chills every single time I listen to it, man. And it's wild.
That you actually have it?
Yeah.
What the fuck I'm talking about?
I got it right now.
Yo, when we got legends on the Roaches podcast.
Yo, we got some shit. Y'all get it?
We're gonna get it. We're gonna finish this up right now, and then we're gonna chop it up because this is fucking history in the building right now. This is the future.
Yes.
It's not history. This is the future.
And we know and I can tell you right now, we're gonna have to have
man
back too.
As
well.
I'm down to come back anytime. I appreciate this too.
Yeah, we're gonna do some. I'm pretty.
Actually, he's gonna have freaking flyer.
I think so. Yeah. We got time to do one more roach, or we don't got no time.
Let's do one more roach and we'll get out of here. Yeah, we're down to 2 cameras.
Gotcha. Right.
It's fine. It's fine.
Yep. Let's get one more.
Fine.
The production value just goes down throughout the night. You know.
No famous.
Start on a high.
No famous artist has ever made a better album after they got sober. Whoever
that's my question.
You didn't have to say that, but
no, it's fine because the reason I brought it up is okay. So the question is, or the statement that I believe is true: no famous artist has ever made an album after they've gotten sober.
You're absolutely right.
And I made a TikTok about this where someone said, "Hey, say a controversial opinion that'll have everyone looking at you like weird." And I said that, and it started to go viral, and everyone was commenting. And just if you know social media, you know how viral something's going to go from the first 30 minutes of how it's responding.
Absolutely.
This was going to go crazy.
Yeah.
And TikTok deleted it. because the implication of like drugs and everything.
Okay.
But we had people arguing in the comments, and think about it. Like every major artist, like think about any artist that has gotten sober. And good for them, by the way. I'm not saying to not get sober. Good for them. Live your good life. I'm not saying that at all. But what I am saying as a fact is no artist has ever made a better album after that point that they've got sober than something previous.
No, that
I'm
is
trying
like
to think. I'm trying to wonder.
Kid Cudi, Eminem, like even rock bands, you know, like Led Zeppelin.
I'm thinking about
like,
R&B singers.
bro.
I'm thinking about R&B singers. I'm thinking about. I'm not gonna say off the. I just gotta think because that's a good scenario.
No, I completely agree. That was an amazing
statement. Yeah,
amazing observation because it is absolutely 100%
it's hard to
true.
Think about. It's hard
because like
I can tell you. I can honestly tell you, like me and my son discuss this a lot of times, and like you think about Led Zeppelin, you think about name some bands. Name some dope bands from back.
Aerosmith,
Pink Floyd,
Metallica,
like all
anybody
those things,
Guns N' Roses,
anybody, whoever. Eminem, when he first made the first Slim Shady album or whatever, like you was probably on something. You probably whether it was weed, whether it was something, you weren't just alcohol. You had your
heroin,
cocaine, whatever. You had your lean, your drink, and these motherfuckers didn't remember shit. It's when that motherfucker and came out with "We will rock you." Rock you. So they weren't thinking about like and DMX and they're like stop.
And also it's not just drugs and alcohol either. It's also just a better lifestyle. Like after these people made these iconic albums that made them, they got rich and started living better. And now all of a sudden there's something about like your light in your heart growing dark that allows you to make really beautiful stuff.
But I think this too. When you get into that position, it's a position not a lot of people have felt. So when you get into that position where you like, oh, I just signed something, and then when you sign it, right? You only sign it because the money's shit, it's in my account right now. So you sign it, right? And you look at that like, and your mind is open, boy. All the worries, mom, you slip mom a little 4,000, 5,000, that changed her life. People in the hood, what? 5,000 is like 20,000, bro. You like, that changed your life. That ain't nothing to him. He just got $100,000. You know what I mean? 150, 200, a quarter of a million. You know what I mean? So you like, I took care of my boys there. I'm taking 20, I'm going to the, we going to the store. We going, you know what I mean? So I can go on about this. But,
it's crazy because I've never been able to experience that kind of shit. And
it's almost your mind to writing better, to to making more hits besides the drugs. And not a lot of people have experienced that. So you put that with the Adderall, you put that with the Coke, you put that with the lean, you put that with the weed, you put that with the whatever else, the alcohol, you put that with
cigarettes.
You might come up with some bombs like shit.
I don't know.
I'm not saying that to be because I come up with shit without. I don't even drink unless I'm here. And then this right here though,
you smoke a lot.
In my mind, it's my mind. Like you, like anybody, whatever you can take it. I just think it's here. Whatever you take might enhance certain things, might make you woke more. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh shit, I just got. You know what I mean? And you ain't sleeping. Because you took that little bump of coke. Now, guys, please don't beat me up for this. I've never done coke before. Please.
This is what this question brings out, bro.
Adderall, whatever.
This is amazing. I love it. I love it. It's amazing
because you took that little bump of coke. You know what I'm saying? You made it's nothing thriller night. Your body's intimate. You know what I mean? You made that because you was falling asleep at 2:30, but you took that bump. Wake your ass up. You got an idea. Like,
I'm telling you, like, I watch a lot of those things, like, behind the scenes, like, and shit, but it's like, it's fucking crazy and insane. And I will go off to say like this, like for personally, I can relate to this. Man, bro.
We get fucked up in here.
Bro, I get fucked up. Like that's
but that don't mean
dirty
but
film,
that don't mean that's what we need to make to produce something great.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying that.
You know what I mean? Right, but that's my thing too.
But it absolutely contributes to the creative process.
I think it makes you more woke, man.
And we have our own little vitals and shit that things go on. But man, bro, like,
do you not agree? It makes you more woke, bad or good?
Yeah,
I think it's just like
senses.
Every single time you're creating art, especially with someone else in the room, there's something in your head being like, "That's stupid."
Yeah.
And when you get these little things in your head, it kind of takes that voice away, and then you just do it, and it releases your real self. And ironically, that's what people feel the most.
Yeah.
Is when you're most yourself, like regardless of who you are.
If you drunk, if you never been drunk before and you had a little something, say you didn't get all the way drunk.
Crazy, bro.
That your real you's coming out because you've been like this step all your life.
Yeah.
But when you get a little something to drink, it's like, oh shit.
Hey.
Oh.
Hey, sometimes you gotta get a little loose in the goose.
Yeah, it's like, where the fuck this been all my life? Oh, you a bad motherfucker. Oh, shit.
Yo, I'm
like,
just
you
telling
really
you, like,
loose then, you know?
Here's my thing, like, it's not healthy for me to drink and get drunk every day. It's not healthy for this. Because you know what, man? Life is too fucking short.
And we're making it shorter.
And I'm making it shorter. And I'm just gonna... We're gonna end this podcast on this. I'm gonna get a little soliloquy.
What a dark way to end, you know what I'm saying?
A little soliloquy. You know what I mean?
With a God complex. Let's get it.
Listen, bro.
Right?
I don't have a God complex.
Right.
I don't have a fucking sense of entitlement or anything like that. I'm just me.
Yeah. We all got our crutch, man.
We all got our crutch. But the thing is, bro, this is a fucking room right here. That's what I'm saying. This is a fucking room right here. And we're just being our fucking selves.
And we didn't have
nobody else less than that. The motherfucking Roaches podcast. Bradley Atom.
Hey,
motherfucking Gengarcade.
Let's get it.
A.K.A. Bradley Gillespie.
All I'm saying is you motherfuckers need to get hip to the grip and listen to this motherfucker right here. Because not only, again, if we're going to Tarantino this shit, we're going to go from start to finish. One of the greatest content creators, music producers, songwriters, and absolute creatives. Their creators are envious of you. How the fuck does he do that?
And once again, can you please shout out where we can see, where the people can follow your stuff and see your stuff on YouTube?
Yeah, Bradley Atom for the video director side, BRADLEY ATOM, and then Gengarcade, GENGARCADE for the music stuff.
And that's at Instagram. That's that. We'll go with it. And we are gonna do another joint. We're gonna have another joint with him.
Yo, all I'm saying right now is on camera. It's laced. We got the podcast filmed.
Podcast done.
And I'm telling you what. You put me and this motherfucker in a fucking room.
It's over.
Lock us in.
I already know. Look, I already know what's about to happen.
I'm sorry for the industry.
No, it's gonna be something. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be that right there. That's a bomb. That's a bomb.
Shut the fuck down.
Tune to the Roaches podcast.
And we are out.
Yes, sir.
Fucking
cheers,
yes, sir. My bad. Bang, bang, bang. There we go, man. Yes, not bad at all. Not bad at all. Yeah, we. It's early, yeah, and we definitely gotta have you back. There's so much more to talk about.